Alright.
Is that one of yours? Do you have these bathrooms? She styles, but she styles. So has in your friends. Oh, yeah. She's fashioning with these.
Soccer?
I want to sing right now.
I was gonna say,
Yo. Yeah. Very detailed. Look, I want you to look from over here. I know it. Do you know Greg? Greg, did you meet this with Dad?
Oh, this is your dad?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys all know him. What do you expect you up?
Well, actually, we have a video. We're doing a video shoot.
That's one word.
Yeah, for the first meeting tonight. That's what Bamber.
Oh, yeah, she's really.
I love apples. He's so fun. We hung out for
I
like...
saw the pictures. It made me so happy. He is probably one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, and we're allowed to even, I guess whatever, it doesn't matter. They're all really cool. Makes sense, I guess.
I just wish you
Some
could.
great.
Alright. So she knows vision.
Ours looks good.
Minutes?
That is yours.
We are live. Currently, we're just pre-live.
there's a banner up online, so you're.
Alright, you got the sound
All right.
playing.
I feel like this dress is like so short. I should have worn better. Jesus.
No, it's not.
That's not. I feel like. Hey, do you have some? Right? Do you have some pants over there for me? Didn't plan very good. Oh man, wait a minute. I can't go back, right? Okay. Which camera am I looking at? Okay. Yeah, or could I sit here? I'd rather sit here.
Will there ever come a day I won't have to explain?
Is this water distracting over here?
Cause there are no guarantees in life it seems. And there's no time to waste. They are horizontal. Side by side, but I skip along.
Yeah, that's so fun.
The checker tiles of supermarket aisles because they make me feel normal. Oh, they make me feel normal. And their eyes become lit with a curiosity. They're trying to understand me, but I don't understand me. I'm lost within my dreams. Will there ever come a day I won't have to explain? I gotta do what's right for me. Cause there are no guarantees in life it seems. And there's no time left to waste. They all
Welcome everybody, and thank you for tuning in to episode 2 of Afternoon Cocktail. Today's show is, we have very special guests, singer-songwriter and producer Mike Gladstone, entrepreneur stylist and owner of She Says So Boutique, Dee Kimbrell, as well as fine artist Narita Vasquez. Later, we will have our one-on-one interview with Narita, but throughout the course of the show, she will be working on her addition to our community canvas in contribution to our Color My Canvas segment. Show by show, our large canvas will be colored as each guest artist spontaneously creates their contribution based on the show's theme. Today's show's theme is Empower. Once our canvas is filled, we will be donating it as a community piece to a charitable cause, which you, our viewers, and friends will help us choose. So this first segment brings us to our roundtable discussion, and I'm going to welcome my very good friend, Miss Susie Willpower. Girlfriend. How are you? I'm great. Awesome. Now, Susie and I have known each other for quite a few years. She is also a local singer-songwriter in the area, and I don't know, tell us a little bit about you. How would you describe yourself to?
I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'm Susie Willpower, everybody. Hi, how are you? I've been in the music scene for a long time. Before that, I was actually a pastry chef at a restaurant called Rumi's, which my parents owned, and I really didn't want to be in the restaurant business. I wanted to be a musician, so I decided I'm just going to take the reins on my own and become a musician, and went to college and did what I wanted to, and I think that's where it leads to empowerment.
Yep, well, absolutely. That's kind of like one of the reasons why I thought of you for today's theme. I couldn't have thought of a better person, because I think for the two of us, we've done quite a bit in the community between, just doing music, but also I met Susie many years ago throughout the music scene, but we, this past summer, shared a really incredible experience together at Girls Rock Camp.
Yes, we did.
And we are going to be teaching again this summer, right?
I think we're going to be
Partners in
together.
Crime.
Partners in Crime, absolutely.
It's a camp for girls who are interested in music. They're from the ages of 8 to 16, and we get to instruct them and educate them on music and help them break out of their shells, and it's really incredible.
We actually get to teach them how to be rock and roll stars or country music stars or whatever they prefer to do, but we really teach them how to pick up an instrument that they've never learned before and teach them how to rock out within 1 week. And these girls are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about empowerment. These girls come from different backgrounds. Some of them come from abused backgrounds. Some of them are very, very privileged, but at the same time, they all get together. And it's amazing how these girls wrap around one another and take care. If somebody's in a weird spot, the other girls will encircle them and make them feel really good.
Well, it was our way of showing these girls that, that we could work together and kind of providing a platform for them to creatively thrive, but also to feel that they're in a safe place where they could be free to be themselves and be an individual and to be an artist like us, But I brought, speaking of community, that brings me to my first question, is how do you define community empowerment? What does that mean to you?
Community empowerment to me means where people who have the ability to use resources teach other people how to make themselves find the resources to make themselves empowered. Wow, that sounds kind of silly, but meaning, say there's one neighbor who in your community who doesn't have a lot. The other neighbors come around and help that neighbor out and teach them how to use their own resources, use the power from within to let it out and become their own.
I think, for the sake of community, I think working together is always the one main thing that's important. I was asking, what do you believe is a key factor in ensuring community empowerment? One thing that I think of is just, working together, but also supporting each other. going out to each other's shows or going out to local events, exhibits, supporting local businesses, eating at local restaurants. Doing all that stuff helps, strengthen our community, and showing that support kind of sets a good tone for people to do the same for you, and for those basically positive karma is what I think. If you set positive karma, then the people around you will eventually, hopefully do the same.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
The same.
What suggestion would you offer to someone who is interested in playing a more active role in perfecting our community?
In the musical community or as a whole?
However, it applies to you. The music community maybe.
Well, I think that in any type of community that you have, having a local, let me rephrase this, using local and thinking globally is kind of a motto that I've stuck with for a long time, where I feel it's really important that musicians, for example, don't set each other aside. They kind of and grasp one another, and we kind of, I guess you could say, ride each other's trains, but that's kind of a negative way of thinking it. I think of it as, I see something that I don't want to be a part of. Not that I don't want to be a part of, but I can't because I'm so busy. I'll call up Amanda and say, hey, there's something going on here that you might have the ability to hook up on. Like Tajay, for example.
Encouraging each other's strengths. And
I also think that if one musician doesn't have a drummer or something, one band doesn't have a drummer, they could call up another person and say, do you know anybody who could help me out?
I love that your name is on Susie. On the side of her glasses, she has her name. I just noticed that. It's so fantastic. I love it. Well, I think of, the way I think of how we are with each other, one another, it's almost like a domino effect, but, you knock over one domino, the next one's going to knock over, and the next one's going to knock over. If we're all kind of standing straight, doing our own thing, but if we, as long as we're there to kind of hold each other up, then nobody will eventually have to fall.
True.
So I think that's maybe one way of looking at it. I don't know, that's how I see it. But I guess just to wrap it up, take care of your own, take care of your people, and support each other as much as you can out there in your communities. We're in Rochester, New York, filming this today, but if you're anywhere beyond that, this applies to you and your business and your life as well. So, Ms. Susie Willpower, where are you performing next?
We will be performing at Bar Louie on June 19th, which is a Thursday, from 6 to 10 p.m., which is at the Greasetown Center.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, go see we'll see Anonymous Willpower. It's our whole band. This girl is rocking on stage. She's fantastic. I love your stage presence.
Thanks.
I'm so very drawn to it. But Miss Susie Willpower, we'll see you. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
And thank you for Amanda Ashley is also quite amazing. If you haven't seen her, go see her as well. Thank you.
So this brings us to our second segment, and this one's all about the biz. I have my guest, entrepreneur, stylist, and owner of She Says So Boutique, Miss Deanna Kimbrell. Hey, girl. Beautiful. Oh, you look so good. Love this shag. I love it. Okay. Now go. Yes. Oh, yeah. Wait, did you want to go?
Huh?
Can we switch?
Do you want to switch?
No,
Yeah.
no, I mean, are you going to do that?
Oh, no. You stay.
I just want to keep him under control.
Well, I interviewed Dee and all the other guests. Narita's going to be painting on our blank canvas today, so you'll get glimpses of her throughout each segment, throughout each segment. And then towards the end, we're going to interview her as well. But, so Dee, I know all about you. I know you're fabulous. Tell these people why they should love you too.
Sure.
Tell them a little something about
Well,
you.
I'm Dee, or Dee of She Says So on Facebook, or Deanna Kimbrell, and I own She Says So Boutique. We were a brick and mortar store, but now we are online at www.sssboutique.com. So we've been in business for about 5 years or so, and what we specialize in is clothes for the everyday women. We also do styling and consultations and things like that for special events or trips. We do personal shopping and things like that as well. So
Very cool. This woman is superwoman. Like, I swear.
thank you.
She does, I mean, aside from doing all this stuff, I mean, she has like quite the full schedule. She's a mother and she travels, so it's amazing. You amaze me. Very educated.
well, yeah, I teach at
Very
Finger Lakes
cool.
Community College, and so that's one of the things I do as well. So
Cool. Good. Now, how would you define your personal style?
I would say my personal style is I am very versatile. I like to take whatever I'm doing during the day and be able to transform that same look into the evening. And, you know, being a mother and being very busy, I don't have time to go in 2 or 3 different outfits per day. So I like to be very versatile, and whether it's professional or something for the evening, I like to be able to change it up through accessories and things like that.
In the same way, that's how I dress too.
Yeah.
Like, usually, like, when I get ready for the day, like, I'm ready for the day. I don't
Right,
care.
exactly.
You know, it took me a while to like be confident enough to be able to do that though, because I don't know, I always feel overdressed.
Right, well, change your shoes, change your accessories, maybe you put a jacket on, and that'll make all the difference.
How many times do you change your outfits before you leave in the morning?
In the morning, I try to, if I need to, I try to get it together
The night before?
at night. Right, yeah, I'll do a little, show for myself at night to try to get everything together. But in the morning, probably one time, but I'll probably go through about 3 or 4 outfits before I get the right one.
Yeah, I love it. Now, what does fashion mean to you?
Well, fashion means to me is being comfortable and being confident. Whatever you are in, you should be comfortable and you should be confident. And it's very versatile. It's different from person to person. So what is fashionable for me may not be fashionable for somebody else. So definitely whatever you wear that makes you feel comfortable and confident is fashion.
I love it. If you had the opportunity to style anybody in the world, or like any specific event, like, what is your dream person to style, dream event?
Well, dream person or event, I would just like the opportunity to do anything. So if it, just something glamorous. So like an award show or something. I really like to do glamour. I don't get a lot of that just because we don't have a lot of glamorous things going on in our community. But during this time is definitely a good time for proms and stuff. So if I had the opportunity to do an award show or something like that, that'll definitely be ideal.
Yeah, that'd be cool. What is one thing you believe every girl should buy or own in their closet?
Every girl should have, I think, a nice jacket or a nice blazer. We talked about before being versatile and being able to take it from day to night, and I think that's one of the things you need. So just a dress, and with a blazer you can wear it to work, take the blazer off, and it's something that you can wear in the evening time. So blazers and nice jackets definitely make things versatile.
I love blazers.
Yeah, me too.
They always look good, no matter what. Biggest fashion pet peeve?
A pet peeve, let me think here. I wouldn't say I really have a pet peeve because, again, everybody is different. So I just like things that are gonna I like things that are gonna last over time. So something that you can only get one wear out of, that's something that I don't like. I like to wear things, and I like to, the things that I sell to my customers, I like to make sure it's things that they can wear from years to come, and again, wear at different events in different ways.
Now, I know you brought some clothes with you, right? Did you want to show some?
Sure, I can show a few of those. Give me one second.
Well, Dee grabs a few things. I've had the pleasure in working with her. I came across her site probably about a year ago. One of my friends is a model, and she entered a contest, and she had one of her articles of clothing on. So I clicked on a little link that says She Says So Boutique, and I'm like, let me check this out. I checked it out, and I was on this site for seriously like an hour and a half. I was like, oh my god, this girl is fantastic, and she's local. So, the way I see it is, why not, here's something I could afford, beautiful clothing, quality work, why not start buying from somebody like Dee rather than go to Forever 21 where I waste half my life. So she's going to bring over some clothes to show us. Need some help?
All right, so what I did was I brung a few different things to kind of show the versatility of what I carry. One part of the business is going to be formal attire, and this is special order stuff. So things that people can order for special events such as proms and weddings and things like that. So we special order these according to the customer's preference, color, as well as their size. And what's good about us is that we also do plus size. So we can cater to people that's up to a 3X or up to a 20 in size without a problem. Okay. And then we also have things that are nice for going out, maybe clubbing or something like that for people who like a little more sexier attire. However, we still do encourage classiness.
How does this one work? Like what? I mean,
well, you know, it's the mesh on the side, so you know, if you're
it's
gonna
like a black shirt underneath.
yeah, like
would
a
you
black shirt or a cami or you know something like that that you don't mind showing in public.
wear? This is very futuristic.
It's very.
Greg, would you wear that? Hey, Danny. What do you guys wear? Greg, come here. Let's see this.
As you can see, I'm a slave to fashion.
Yes, this gentleman right here.
There you go.
That's our next open gym. You don't need a bra for that one.
And this is also one of our plus size pieces. So again, we try to sell something and service people of all sizes and fashions. So this may be someone that's a little more conservative.
Very cool.
And this is another summer piece that we have. So again, we try to cater to people that are creative and like to take risks. It's a 2-piece set. This is the top.
I love that.
And this is the skirt. So very fun summer color and pattern. Something to definitely make you stand out in the crowd. And then this is another plus size dress. Again with the patterns and the colors. Okay, but again a little more conservative. Depending on age. I would say that we target people maybe around 20 to about maybe 45.
Okay.
Some 50s depending on how comfortable they are with that. And then this is just a skirt that you can mix and match again. It may be something that you might be able to take from day to night.
I saw this on the
website, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is just another dress. Again, something with a blazer you can take from day to night.
Beautiful.
And then again, just another simple skirt that you can dress up however you like and however you feel comfortable.
So, when you order these clothes, I mean, are you just like on your computer for hours? Like, how do you come across all this stuff?
This is my baby. Can you please help me? Thanks for being a helper. Can you please take that over there for me?
What, this?
Yeah, and take it right over there. And have a seat. Take it over there with Dathan. Thank you. Well, it all depends. I usually start each year off by going to the Magic Trade Show in Las Vegas, and that's how I meet the vendors and the designers.
Oh, okay.
And then from there, they send me items, or I go to their websites, and then I'm able to shop year round.
Wonderful. And what to you, like, what makes a quality piece of clothing?
What makes something quality is something that's going to be versatile. It has thank you. It has a lot of stretch because different people are different sizes. So my small may not be your small. So
right.
I like to have things that are kind of flexible. My kids. Okay, things that are flexible for different people in different environments.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, last question. How do you define empower, and in what ways do you believe fashion is empowering?
I define empowerment by something that's going to allow people to do whatever they want to do. And I think fashion is a good example of that. So just allowing people to dress the way that they want to dress, feel comfortable and feel confident is definitely a way to empower people. Let them step outside the box.
Sure. And one last thing, I want you to tell them about your campaign because I think it's brilliant.
Oh, yeah, the campaign is it's not what you wear, but how you wear it. And again, that's going to promote you wearing whatever you want to wear and making sure that it shines from the inside out. Making sure that no matter what you wear, you still are who you are and you're happy and confident with that.
Beautiful. That's like the best message, I think. So
Thank you.
I can't think of a better way to end that. Thank you so much for
Okay,
being
thanks.
here and
Thanks for
sharing your
having me.
clothes with us. Make sure you check out sssboutique.com or She Says So Boutique on Facebook.
On Facebook. Yep.
And
On Instagram,
give it a good
too.
like. Oh, yeah.
On Instagram, yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, what beautiful image do we have got going on over here, girl? I love it. This is great.
Oh, thank you.
So for today's theme, each artist is creating a masterpiece contribution to our canvas based off of the theme of the show. So today's theme is Empower, and tell us about, explain your image and what made you create this.
Well, I feel that one of the biggest ways to empower someone are with words and encouraging them, motivating them. Some people just never hear anything positive or uplifting. And I think that, when we say words can hurt, words can hurt. So if we speak positivity and speak love and encouragement, it empowers someone and makes them feel stronger and more confident to do what they need to do.
So cool. Well, I'm going to ask you to take a break for 1 second, and maybe we'll bring you over to our table so you can probably hear better, right? Do you need a napkin? Or anywhere you want to sit?
I'll sit right
Okay. So,
here.
yeah. So, Narita, tell us about your work. How would you explain your art in general?
Well, I do mainly portraiture. I love portraits. I just love the differences in people. I love studying people's faces and
Expressions.
people. Yeah, I love people watching, and I just always try to see if I can capture that.
Yeah. Like I said, now what about your art is very heavily influenced by pop culture, I would say. And that's a general thing. Like when I looked at your website and I was viewing your art, it's all pop icons from different eras and different backgrounds, I would say. What makes you choose each of those artists?
Well, I guess growing up, my mom was a seamstress and she would design clothing, so we always had fashion magazines and entertainment magazines. So I grew up looking at all these stars, and like any young girl, you either want to be an actress, a singer, a fashion model, and I can't do any of those. So my mom taught me some things how to draw, so I would always copy the magazines, and the models were so beautiful, and the stars, and I would just find myself just copying their faces, and the first portrait I did was 3rd grade, like real portrait of John F. Kennedy for a little book report, and we didn't have to add a picture, but I just thought I'd try. And I think it started from there only because that was a report on his biography, and I've always been fascinated with celebrities, not because they're celebrities and icons, but because most of them, the price they pay for all that fame was just so
Intriguing.
Exactly. I'm fascinated by that. I'm fascinated by, the Marilyn Monroes and their Dorothy Dandridge and Jimi Hendrix. For such a short time they were here and so talented, and how they just exploded globally, but, it just ended so tragically. So that's just something I've always been drawn to.
Kind of makes you think about what their story really means.
Exactly.
And it keeps you wondering because they they had such a premature life.
Yes.
You know, I found I kind of have that in common with you, absolutely, because my mother growing up, my mother and sister like are so funny to me because they are very, very obsessed with pop culture. Like watch E! News, they watch like all this like entertainment, like all those type of shows, and then they'll People magazines, like all those magazines and stuff. So my mom talks about like celebrities like they're her best friends.
Yeah.
You know, like she'll talk about like what was Katie Holmes's daughter, her name? I don't know. What was it? Surrey. She'd talk about Surrey like it was like her niece or something. Like I'm like, Mom, who the hell is Surrey? You know. Anyway, how would you describe your art to those who've never seen your work before and your technique?
Well, my technique is, it's kind of simple. I've never taken an art class. I didn't go to art school. I just spent a lot of time, alone in my room while my brother and sister were all playing. I was pretty nerdy, so it was just something that I liked to do. So I just pretty much, my paintings or my drawings, I would have the idea in my head of what I want to do, draw it out, sketch it out. And then for me, I think that's why I spoke about how I identify with tattoo artists, because then all the work goes into what they do after they get their outline. Sure. And that's me. I mean, I draw it all out, and then for me, I just spend so much time going in and wanting to capture like every detail, every flaw, everything that makes that person
beautiful.
Them.
Yeah. Nice. In what ways has your artistic ability flourished over time? Like, do you see a progression in your work? And
I definitely see a progression because not having formal training, not having an art degree, not going to school, it has closed many doors for me. I mean, I've just been heavily criticized. It took me a long time to get to the point where I accepted, that I could call myself an artist. People just, without that degree or without that education, they just kind of always looked at it as a hobby. And for me, it was just something different because I spent most of my earlier years, I was always commissioned to do tribute paintings of friends and relatives and selling in little stores, people who were killed, a lot of young people, their friends were killed, drawing them on everything from T-shirts to canvas to pants, jackets, things like that. And people don't really consider you an artist then. So it was just probably after my dad died in 2008 that I just said, wow, I really don't have any kind of body of work that really means anything to me, that expresses what I really want to say. And so I just worked hard on doing what I wanted to do, or if I have a message, or if it's a star or a celebrity or, a public figure that just has so much in common with me, or, I hope people look at them and want to, find out more about them. I think that's how I've grown.
You think letting that guard down, for yourself, where you were like, you know what, I'm going to step out and take this chance and do that, would you say that has made you a better artist?
I think so. I think it's made me a better artist. And then I was always one to listen to what everybody said. My relationships were always with guys who just either put down the work I did or just didn't really care.
Support, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't really have, except for my mom and dad, my immediate family, and that was it. And I had to start encouraging and motivating myself. That's something I think we overlook a lot, is telling kids, sometimes you're not going to hear that, where you are. You're not going to hear all that, promise or all that positive, all those positive words about your work. You have to speak them to yourself. So
I definitely believe that 100%. And that's how my career is. I kind of felt like, over time you can't really rely on anybody else but yourself, and if nobody's going to do something for you, you have to take that step and
your voice
that risk.
Is beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you much. But I think letting that guard down is like the most important thing. And if you're able to do that, it's very empowering because that's like your opportunity to be like, all right, well, I'm not gonna let anybody else or outside influence determine how I'm gonna live my life. You know, that's great that you did that. I'm happy that you did that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Let's see, you have a series of paintings and drawings a collection of art that she brought with her today. I'm so happy you brought it. Because this is what stood out to me in your work when you brought it, when I first looked at her site. Can you explain your thought and process that goes along with your mission statement for the work we're about to see?
Well, when I did this series, I called it Strokes of Dopeness.
Awesome.
You know, I come from that whole 80s hip-hop culture thing, but I just feel that we as humans, we don't accept people's visual differences enough. We're so critical at how people wear their hair, their makeup, what they have on. You know, if you're not designer down and you don't have these expensive labels, and we just don't give each other a break. So I took, there are 9 portraits in the series. They're all icons of the past, and they're all celebrities, rock stars or movie stars, like Marilyn Monroe, Tupac, Elvis, and Bruce Lee that I brought. And what I did was I changed their hairstyles in something you never would have seen them in then. And that was why it was important that they be deceased, because I think if they were still alive, it would look like a little costume or something. And I wanted people to see, when I first started, first of all, my son was, I think he was 15 at the time I did it, or 14, and he was like, no, you are not going to put braids on Bruce Lee. That is going to look ridiculous, Mommy. Okay, now you've gone too far. I love your work, but this is not going to work. Marilyn Monroe with braids. And so I didn't know what it was going to turn out like. I just wanted to try to kept seeing this vision, and the first piece was Marilyn, actually, with the braids, and I had that vision, and when it came out, I was like, wow, she's still as beautiful with this different hairstyle that never would have been done then at that time. Bruce Lee with, cornrows, no one would have, he never would have done that during that time, that period. And they're still who they are. I mean, I just think they still look beautiful, and if we could just accept everyone's visual differences and how they want to look, I just think it would, we would find out, wow, that person really is beautiful for what they are. I mean, we're seeing that now. We're seeing that where nobody's satisfied with what they look like. Everybody's changing everything, and then they don't even look like themselves anymore. And
yeah, these are so brilliant. Now, why would you choose like an afro for Elvis or like the cornrow braids for Marilyn?
Well, Elvis, for the time that he was around, there have been reports of comments that he made that were, considered racist, and it was like,
Elvis
wow.
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I didn't know.
I was like, wow, why not take him and put him in one of the most iconically, African-American hairstyles, which is the afro, and see. And, it's still Elvis, and he'd still be cool. But it also shows we attach hair so much to how we are. I mean, I spent most of my life, blow drying, relaxing, flat ironing, natural curls. And just recently I said, you know what, I just don't even have time for that. I'm just going to embrace what I am. And people just really look at you different. At my job, it's like some people love it. Some people are like, what happened? What happened to you? Did you get caught in a storm or something? And it's like, it's not that serious, really. It really isn't. So.
There's worse things to worry about.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I think it's just very cool. That's ironic to me that Elvis was racist, because
I've heard a couple of the statements, not to get into it, but it's just that we're, cultures, we see each other so different, but we're so similar in the things that count. It's the things that don't count that people really want to pick apart.
Yeah.
But we all sit here, and I just found out you're, Puerto Rican, I'm Puerto Rican, we're both mixed, and it's mixtures, mixing cultures, mixing people together. I just find that so beautiful.
Yeah.
And if people just really look at that and just really appreciate it for what it is, it's a beautiful thing. It
Definitely.
really is.
I noticed that you bring like some of your, like, would you say some of your art has some Puerto Rican influence? Because like I noticed you have like some like you use a lot of tropical colors.
I think it's because I grew up in Rochester with the worst weather in the world.
Yeah.
And, when I was younger, I used to get in trouble for my desk at school. I would draw palm trees and beaches and sun. And, I've been to Puerto Rico, and we lived in Arizona when I was in high school. And, I'm very into my Native heritage, Native American heritage, too. And I just love the warm climate so much. So I have most of my paintings at home are very tropical.
Okay.
Because it just brings that world into me, because outside it's just yucky snow. We had it forever this year. It was like winter was never
it was
gonna
never
end.
ending. Okay.
So-
For anybody anywhere else, like, you're very lucky. Actually, I don't know if that's true anymore because the weather is wild
Yeah,
everywhere
it is.
right now.
It is. I just love summer, and I'm so glad it's finally.
Now, what would you say, like, what pop culture icons, like, currently are you mesmerized by? Like, who's your next painted subject in your mind?
If I had to say, excuse me, any that are living now, there are really none that I'm crazy about as far as wanting to do them. I mean, Kat Von D, I think she's an amazing artist, not only tattoo artist, but her artwork is phenomenal. And I did do a tattoo convention, and that's what led me to do that. But actually, my next two pieces are that I've been working on that are going to be a while before I finish, because they are big, are Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain, because I
love Kurt Cobain.
Their stories, I mean, are amazing to me. And I mean, even from when they're born, I think there's just so much we learn from the people that went before us, whether they're activists, political leaders, or these rock stars. And the thing is, our culture, we idolize people on TV, in the media so much, but we break them down really bad. We tear them down, and I just want to, it's my way of wanting to find out more about them. And when I do them, like a piece I did 2 weeks after Whitney Houston died.
I saw that one. She's like an idol for me.
I'm sure for you.
Huge. I love her.
I
cried for a week when she died.
I know.
Like, I'm not kidding. I like really cried
It was
every
so
day.
sad, and I just remember the first time I heard Whitney on the radio and everything, and it just meant so much to me. But when she passed, people were just saying the most horrible things about her.
Yeah.
I'm like, she just died. So for me, it was like I just wanted to capture her, that 80s girl that I remember her, with that
she was
smile,
pure.
and because we're all messed up in a way. We've all got our flaws, we've all got our damages, we've all got our problems, our issues, our sins, and we're all going to have to deal with it our own time, pay for our own things, and beating each other up about it and judging each other is just, that's something that I think that's been a common thing with me in choosing the stars that I have chosen to do, is how we judge each other. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe that doesn't make sense to anybody. I know it does appear.
It makes a lot of sense to me. Why do you think people judge each other?
Honestly, I think it's a way to, if I judge you and find something bad about you, it takes the focus off what's wrong with me. I really do. And I know, because I'm not perfect, I've done it in my life.
Right.
And, I'll always sit back like, wow, if they, concentrate on that, maybe they're not going to see, how I screwed up.
I look at that as like the animal in all of us, like the animal in the human. That, like, we're looking to take nips out of everybody, but in the end is why. You know,
Yeah,
like we're all the
exactly.
same. We're all living and breathing under the same sky, you know.
We are. That's so true.
All right, one more question. Well, actually, I got two more. What challenges have you had to overcome throughout, or any obstacles you feel that you had to overcome in your transition into the art world?
I had the biggest obstacle, what I mentioned, was just
The confidence.
having enough confidence in myself to just go, like, if you're going to say no or turn me down for a show or whatever, I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll go
Yeah.
create my own thing. And another thing is to, when my marriage was over, my kids were younger, and being a single mother for the last 13 years, raising my kids, it was hard financially because, wanting to do this and wanting to do my work, but, having to keep a job, raising kids, 2 children, trying to make sure I'm the best mom that I can be, and then still trying to find time to do this. A lot of times I took art jobs, the stuff that I really didn't want to do because I had, my son and my daughter. But, I'm so thankful right now. They just turn out to be good kids. So they help me in everything. They critique my work. They'll tell me when something is not going right. That doesn't look right. Those eyes are off, Mom.
Those are good kids.
That. So, I'm just thankful. They've been through this whole journey with me.
Yeah.
And I remember something a while back where it just seemed to fail, and I remember looking at them and saying, you know what, I want you to tell me, look in my eyes, and I remember crying and saying, if you two tell me to stop right now, I won't try anymore because I keep trying, and, where I want to go, it's not happening, I won't put any effort. And they looked at me and said, never, we never want you to stop. And now I can't, I absolutely won't. I probably would have if they told me, but I think I asked them because I knew they wouldn't, and maybe I needed to hear that. But it was always in the back of my mind that I never want them to give up going for what they want to do. And the only way you do that is to show them. So that's probably it.
Well, I think you're an amazing example, and I wish I could just take you and put you in my little pocket and take you home because I want to talk to you forever. Forever and ever. So we have to do stuff beyond this, please. Because I have many more questions, but we don't have the time.
Thank you.
But all right. Well, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Narita, please tell us where they can find your artwork.
My website is either NaritaVasquez.com, that's Vasquez with a Z, and or NaritaFromTheRock.com. And then you can reach my social media networks from there.
Facebook, and I'll be
Facebook.
posting under our afternoon cocktail group. I'll be posting everybody that's been on the show links to their websites, so you could have no excuse but to check them out, and you should. They're all really incredible people and artists. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being a part of this.
Thank you so much. What do I?
Did you, if you want to still paint,
I'll put something.
please do.
Thank you.
Paint all you want. So that concludes our Color My Canvas, but Narita's going to still work on her piece. We have a little cocktail, I guess. So Pinterest is something that we're all familiar with, and each show I've been doing just a little cocktail, simple recipe for you guys to take this summer with you to your barbecues or your at-home events. So right here I have a sweet tea vodka with limoncello and lemonade. So that's sweet tea vodka, that Firefly, I know Belvedere definitely has some, which is amazing, and limoncello with lemonade. It's good. Enjoy it. So next we have Mike Gladstone coming up. He's a singer-songwriter, producer, incredible artist. He is going to be performing 2 of his songs. We're going to do a little interview in between. We're going to take a moment to break, and we'll be right back. Thanks. Very good. Oh, thank you. Okay, good out. Oh, thanks. That was, yeah. You are amazing.
Frankie, oh, so lovely.
I'm young, I'm strong, I'm powerful, striving to be the best that I can be. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, nothing between me and my dream. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm powerful, striving to be the best that I can be. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, nothing between me and my dream. Stand by me, we've come this far. Believe with me, I know it's hard. Life it ends a slim, but zero times at times. Battle wounds with scars to prove I won't lose. 'Cause no, I refuse something to prove. Oh, now it is my time. It's my time to shine. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm powerful, striving to be the best that I can be. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, nothing between me and my dream. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm powerful, striving to be the best that I can be. I'm young, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, nothing between me and my dream. Now when my fate to decide if I work hard, put in the time. Lemonade, it tastes so sweet, so sweet. Battle wounds with scars to prove I won't lose. 'Cause no, I refuse something to prove. Oh, now it is my time. It's my time to shine. I'm strong, I'm powerful, striving to be the best that I can be. I'm strong, I'm beautiful, nothing between me and my dream. I'm strong, I'm powerful, striving to be.
All good? Okay. I think so.
Take it away. Mr. Mike Gladstone.
I stare at the midnight sun, waiting for the evening, but it never comes around. I find that things don't happen till the sun goes down, but the damn thing just goes round and round the sky. Not like I don't have things to do, just that I'd rather be with you. It's always just outside my reach. Wanna me, I wanna feel it too. Deaf and blind to everything but you. Wanna me, I wanna feel it too. Deaf and blind to everything but you. Climbing up the attic stairs, built out of one-way love affairs and blame. While I was looking out the window, I could see them there, those blacktop angels with the flowing hair and smiles. Not like I don't have things to say, just that the words get in the way. It's always someone else's scene. Wanna me, I wanna feel it too. Deaf and blind to everything but you. Wanna me, I wanna feel it too. Deaf and blind to everything but you. I hope you like your piece of pie. Don't let the moment pass you by. Wanna me, I wanna feel it too. Deaf and blind to everything but you. Wanna me, I wanna feel it too. So deaf and blind to everything but you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mike Gladstone, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. So now explain to you, we heard just one of your original songs. It's called Why Not Me?
Mm-hmm.
Explain to me and your audience, to those who don't know you, about your music. How would you describe your sound, your writing style? You write multiple genres.
I do. I think of myself as a jack of all trades and master of none, you know, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It's definitely not a bad thing, I think.
You know, it's nice to get good at, you know, one sort of style of music and stick with it and be really good at it. But I get bored quickly, so, you know, I always want to try different things.
I feel the same way, you know, and it's kind of, I can never, like, define, people are like, what kind of style do you like? I listen to so much different type of music, so, I mean, you're a quintessential songwriter, so I mean, like, I think it's great for you to be knowledgeable of multiple styles, right?
Yeah, and as a producer too, I'm exposed to so many different people and so many different styles, and I'm really not one to say no to a project just because it's out of my comfort zone, you know. And I think that influences me a lot too.
What's like one style that you've written for, or genre that you never thought you'd ever write, or have you come across that yet?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've done some country stuff, and I'm really, you know, not. I love the guitar playing, but I don't really relate to the style of music all that much, you know, from a writing style. But you know, it's always interesting to see if you could get into that space and fit into it and do something which is believable, you know.
Sure. Now, when you sit down and write, like, do you have like certain days that you write, or is it just like you sleep dream, like, I mean, you dream songs, or do you a little bit of everything, or?
Yeah, I would say a little of everything. Dream songs, I definitely have dreamed some songs, and I've written some songs about dreams too. Yeah, I carry, nice thing about the smartphones they have now is most of them have little recorders on them, so,
oh, thank God
it's always an idea pops into your head, and you always have it available to put it down, so that, that happens a lot, and, then just feelings you get, whether, I have aging parents, that brings a lot of emotion out in me lately, and that's been influencing my writing.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like do you ever sit down thinking, I'm going to write a certain style, or is it just whatever flows out of you at that given point in time, and then you kind of diagnose what genre it's going to be?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. I like to say that the song rules, and the song will tell you what it wants to be.
Yeah.
I definitely don't. Of course, there are projects when it has to be in a certain style, like if it's for a client or something and it needs to be like that. But for my own writing, definitely, whatever the song dictates, wherever, that's where it goes usually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you done, okay, so I know you have your music licensed in, was it The Young and the Restless?
Yep.
And what others?
Let's see. I've had stuff used on network television, a Barbara Walters special. I think the
that's cool.
most influential people of 2011, I think. Sports Channel. A lot of it, some of it is whole songs and songwriting, but a lot of it is just 30 seconds or 26 seconds of stuff you wouldn't even notice in the background of a reality show. So there's a lot of that too.
Now, do you self-manage, or do you work with a company, or a little bit of both? Like, how do you feel like you have full control of your career?
Yeah. I manage myself, but I belong to some organizations that have helped me get my foot in the door with certain music publishers and whatnot.
Okay.
I've been involved in Taxi and Broad Jam, which are websites that you submit music to, and they can give it to end users, and they use different methods of doing that, different companies. But that's been good for getting my foot in the door with a bunch of publishers. And
sure.
I'm currently working on a project for a Disney attraction.
That's cool.
So see what comes with that. Yeah, very very cool and very challenging.
I can imagine. Now, what is a big goal for you? Do you set goals for yourself, like monthly or yearly, or where do you see your path?
Well, ultimately, I still have a day job, so I'm a software engineer, so that takes up a lot of my time, and ultimately I'd like to get to a point where the music licensing and publishing stuff takes over full time, and I can play a gig now and then and have fun.
Yeah.
So that's the ultimate goal, but yeah, it's just I love doing it so much. It's just every minute is just something new with it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do want to talk about Uncle Plum.
Okay, sure.
This is funny to me because I never knew. I've been in Rochester about 7 years, maybe plus now, and I always heard Uncle Plum. And when I first was checking out, this is even before I started getting back into music. I was checking out who's playing around, and who are these bands, and who's playing out the most, where are the good venues to play. You guys were popping up all the time, and you were the band, and I kind of felt like for as successful as you guys are and were, and for everything that Uncle Plum was, I think people kind of almost hated on you a little bit, original artists hated on you guys because of being a cover band, but I don't think half of them even realized what extraordinary songwriters you all were and are.
We did release a CD.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh,
we showcased New York, and we went for it a bit. I don't think we ever reached our full potential as songwriters, but we did a CD worth of original material.
That's
cool.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've been playing out in this town for so long that I kind of let that blow over. It doesn't bother me because I don't. I've been playing in this town for 30 years, and I've heard it all, and I don't feel I have to the only person I have to impress is myself, you know.
I
And
think it's the best way to look at it.
and you know, even doing cover stuff, one thing I liked about Uncle Plum, we had a great run, and that when we did do covers, I felt like we always tried to put our own stamp on it, you know, and do it our own way, as opposed to just, you know, trying to do it rote.
Yeah. I think, I mean, maybe, I don't know, I don't mean that in a negative way, like the Hayden thing. I think, you know, it's one thing, like, in our community, which I hope is kind of subsiding, you know, that with all the things that are currently going on, that, you know, just, I mean, there's just like a cover original war. And I'll be the first to admit, at first, you know, like, I even kind of felt that way, like, man, why does cover music get, like, so much attention, you know, like when there's original artists, you know, but to each band member that's behind that cover, whatever material they're performing, there's still an art to what is being accomplished and what's being projected, you know.
Well, sure. I mean, you know, being able to play your instrument well and entertain is one thing, but I also really do believe that the reason a lot of these cover songs are popular is because they're really good songs. And, you know, if a local artist comes along and really has great songs and presents them well, and I think they're going to get noticed. I think, you know, I've heard a lot of, you know, local artists that do all original material that maybe people aren't coming out because they're not marketing themselves well enough, or their songwriting isn't up to snuff, you know. So I think good is good, and I think people appreciate that, you know.
What do you think makes, like, one songwriter better than another? Like, what to you comprises a good songwriter?
It's a complicated question, but the first word that comes to mind is definitely honesty. You know, do I believe what the songwriter's saying? Do I, you know, even if it's not something that I would write or even necessarily listen to, is it believable? Is it honest? And, you know, as a songwriter, I feel I've got a pretty good BS detector if somebody is not sincere about what they're saying or playing. You know, you can tell, and I think that comes to the front.
I definitely agree with that. Would you say music empowers you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing makes me feel better or stronger or...
Yeah. Do you feel like invincible every
Well,
like that invincibility kick in?
Sometimes, but I think that's why we do it. You know, I mean, there are those moments when, whether you're on stage or writing or whatever you're doing, when you feel like I just hopped on my board and I'm riding the wave and this can't get any better. And I think they don't happen all the time, and maybe that's a good thing. It makes you strive to get there more often. You know, I think everybody, no matter what level you're at, you know, whether you're the top-selling artist in the world, I have a feeling that you probably still have those feelings that sometimes you're on top of the world and sometimes you're
scared as hell.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, right?
Yeah, definitely. What about, okay, so talk about Tone Search. You know, you are producing other people's projects. How do you feel that, I mean, do you feel that producing other people's projects has, in a way, made you a better artist or a better songwriter?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely hearing, you know, your influence, I'm influenced by everything I hear and everything I'm associated with, but it's nice. One thing I like about it, too, is often I get to take off the songwriter hat. You know, a lot of times when I'm doing my own stuff and I'm wearing every single hat, you know, I'm the songwriter, I'm the musician, I'm mixing, I'm, you know, doing everything. You know, you start to second guess yourself a lot, and sometimes if someone else is doing the songwriting and the singing, it's easier to be objective about it and focus on other things. So it's a different, you know, different kind of thing.
Your recordings sound phenomenal.
Thank you.
I've heard, I listened to a lot of Cross-Eyed Miles and Kevin Dehan's single. He told me, oh my God, he told me a story. My friend Kevin Dehan, he's a great songwriter and a really sweet man, and he took one of his songs to Mike and to Tone Search and recorded it. He told me that he was so taken with what you did that he started crying.
And so did I.
And, oh God, he's probably going to kill me for even actually saying this, but he was just like so touched by it, and you were like, Mike, I mean, you were like, Kevin, are you crying right now?
No, I was too. It was a wonderful thing.
It was funny.
He's such a talented man. He has such wonderful songs, and I heard this one and I said, would you mind if I took a shot at it? Because I could really hear it being presented in a certain way. That particular song, really, the vibe for that was really sort of old Chicago or Blood, Sweat, and Tears kind of thing with horns on it.
Yeah,
and,
I love
you know, and Kevin, you know, he's wonderful, but he records his songs with his electric guitar and sings, and I just heard all these things immediately on the song, and I said, would you mind if I took a shot at it? And he said, go ahead, and I had a blast doing it. I brought in Jimmy Richmond, who was one of the best horn arrangers around. We had a blast.
That's so fun. I love it. Yeah, when I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, this is like, I didn't know, like, I heard his stuff on Reverb Nation, and I wasn't expecting all the production, and when I listened to it, I was like, this is phenomenal. I was like, who did these? Like, who did all this? You know, like, and he told me, it's like, half of it's all Mike, and I'm like, wow, that's brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
I was really, like, extremely impressed, and not that I never was not impressed by you before, but like I was like, wow, this is incredible. So I mean, amazing.
The song's called "You Were Made for Me." If anyone wants to check it out on Kevin's page,
check it out on Reverb Nation. I know it's under Kevin Dehan, but yeah, very, very impressive. I'm trying to think. Have you seen Elvio since he's been back?
I talk to him all the time. Yeah,
he's kind of a writing partner in crime for you as well, or not?
Yeah, we've done some writing of late too, but yeah, I mean, I live vicariously through him.
Yeah.
You know, Elvio plays with Chris Daughtry's band now and is touring the world and doing incredible things and meeting incredible people, and you know, I love the fact that I knew him. You know, when we first started Uncle Plum together and started writing together, you know, 15 years ago, and I'm so proud of him. I really am. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah, he's definitely, you know, he deserves it. He worked really hard, you know.
He's an incredibly talented man.
And he's a good man, too.
Yep.
I'm proud of him, too. I don't even know him half as well as you. So it's good to see people flourish within the community that are doing good things.
Absolutely. So. Well deserved.
Anything else that you would like people to know about you, or I mean, is there anything? Leave them with some last words.
Well, I guess I'll just
not some Tupac last words. No.
I could give shameless plugs. You know, I said
What are you playing next?
That let's see. I'm involved. I'm doing a bunch of sideman things, and I have my own thing called Junkyard Field Trip with my songwriting partner Rob Smith over there.
Who's coming to perform with you next?
He'll do one of the songs he wrote. He sings it a lot prettier than I do. So, and let's see. We're playing. When are we playing? July 4th out at the Towpath on the canal in Fairport, out on the deck. So low key and fun. I'm playing with Tommy Burnett.
Yes, I saw you guys at Ribfest.
Right. So
and you play with his full band.
With his full band, yeah. I think we have a gig on the 7th, the night of Fairport Canal Days.
How do you have time
the 7th.
for all this?
I don't know.
Outrageous.
I don't know.
Do you sleep? No?
Sometimes, yeah.
It's overrated.
And this Saturday, I'm playing with a group I used to play with a while ago. We've been getting back together lately, called Costco, Gladstone, and Costco, which is
I saw that as well.
acoustic, a lot of Crosby, Stills, Nash, 3-part harmony stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah, and that's going to be at Richmond's Tavern on Saturday night at 9.
Do you still perform with Julie Dunn and
we haven't in a while. We were Be Glad and Done, and everybody kind of got involved in their own projects. Julie's got a band, and Dave's playing with 50-50.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice. Now, I did want to ask. I wanted to insert this question before because I'm curious. Like, I know you like obviously multiple genres, but what genre do you feel you connect with most? Like that just kind of touches your heart. Like what's in your CD player right now? Like
I love 70s music, and I love the whole singer-songwriter thing, you know, and there's so many wonderful new singer-songwriters. But I mean, from old school, I'm a huge fan of like Mark Knopfler and all the old Dire Straits stuff. Trying to think, I'm drawing a blank of anything new that I like, but you know, the new wave of singer-songwriters. There's some wonderful folks out there, and I like the fact that even pop music is kind of getting back to this earthy, more acoustic vibe that I'm digging. So
I do too. I saw a great band on Friday, The Head and the Heart. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I have heard of them.
Amazing. I saw them. I went to Death Cab for Cutie.
They're great.
It's like one of
Another
my
great
favorite-
band.
I love
Yep.
Maggie Bird. Like songwriter, they were great. This is like my 18th time seeing them. But I saw them. They had Head in the Heart open for them. They were
Really great, huh?
band. Yeah, I was like, I gotta get whatever CDs they have out. I want them all. I went home and I downloaded them. So,
Fantastic.
yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank
I really
you.
appreciate this.
Thanks
and
for having me.
For you doing this. So you're bringing up Rob Smith. He's going to sing with you,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, we're going to do a song we wrote called Mercy. So I'm going to actually... why don't you-
Rearrange?
Well, he needs the microphone, so let's see. Why don't you come on this side? Do some fancy capo work here.
Have fun.
Thanks. Sure.
Well, I'm only human, imperfect at best, but it doesn't mean that I've never tried to be all that you wanted. But it's clear that I failed from the look that you can no longer hide. Well, nothing I can say or do to make things right. I fall on my knees and I pray you'll have mercy on me. Mercy on me. Oh, mistakes I surely regret. I said some things to make you cry, but without you I'm nothing. Don't give up on me, yeah. Can't be harder than saying goodbye. There's nothing I can say or do to make things right. I fall on my knees and I pray you'll have mercy on me. Mercy on me. Nothing I can say or do. Baby, let me prove to you I'll make things right. I fall on my knees and I pray. I fall on my knees and I pray. Ooh, I fall on my knees and I pray you'll have mercy on me. Have mercy on me.
Mike Gladstone and Rob Smith. You can check them out on Junkyard Field Trip, correct? Is there a special website for that, or you guys just have a Facebook page?
Yeah, well, yeah, we should have one. We should be more organized. But, you know, on Reverb Nation /Mike Gladstone, that's where our stuff is until I create a junkyard
Great.
field trip one, which I need to
That's
do.
okay. Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself since we got you on the stage before we close out.
Not a whole lot to say, actually.
Well, you
Just-
have an amazing voice.
That's
that
very
says
kind.
enough.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm just lucky to work with Mike and hopefully write a few more tunes.
How did you guys find each other?
Well, Rob is actually the only lead singer who has ever filled in for LVO
Wow. Okay.
in Uncle Plum. So that's how we met.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this guy's good.
Yeah.
And get his number and.
Did Elvio, how'd you get hooked up? How did you get hooked up with Uncle Tom?
Through Joe. I think.
Joe Lana, the drummer.
Okay.
Yeah, played in a band with Joe too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Polluted Moon.
There you go.
Well, fantastic. Now, do you have other projects that you're working on yourself, or?
I play acoustically with a guy from the Sky Coasters named Gary Rosenthal, and that's our little acoustic side gig. And then Mike and I play in Junkyard Field Trip, and it's worked out good so far.
Fantastic. Well, best of luck with your new project.
Thank you so much.
Recording
Thank you.
And writing, and I want to see you guys do
Thanks
great.
for having us.
Oh, thank you. Do you have one more song? Would you like to perform?
Oh,
Maybe
wow,
on our way out.
surprise.
I did want to thank everybody who's been a guest today. This is our second episode. I hope anybody who's watching it at home enjoyed it. Tune in next time, which is episode 3. We'll get back to you in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll be doing that. Right here at Underground Blue, we are open to audience members. Thank you to Ms. Susie Willpower for my roundtable discussion, to Narita Vasquez, our artist, brother today, Mike Gladstone, and if you guys want to take away one more song, that would be amazing. Thank you.
It's 2 a.m. and they're closing the bars. The college girls stagger out wrapping in scarves and stumble around waiting for taxi cars to take them home. And you ask if I please take you home. It's not that you're scared, it's the being alone. That's one path that I don't want to go, 'cause we know just where that leads. The longer I hold you, the more that we kiss, the more I imagine forever like this. One more, let's try again. One more time to make promises. One more hearing me say it's the last time I walk out of your life. There was a time when I couldn't say no. Wherever you lead, I was certain to go. Living was wasted, whole weekends just wrapped in your arms. The more that I stare into those sparkling blue eyes, the harder it is when it ends in goodbye. One more, let's try again. One more time to make promises. One more hearing me say it's the last time I walk out of your life. Too many times when I woke up alone. Too many nights waiting for you to phone. I'd be a fool to let you in, let you in. Reach for my hand and I just pull away. It only gets worse the longer I stay. One more, let's try again. One more time, make promises. One more hearing me say, this time I walk out of your life. One more, let's try again. One more time, make promises. One more hearing me say it's the last time I walk out of your life. There we go. Thanks, y'all.